My name is Barbara Chamberlin. I'm a game developer, app developer, professor, researcher at New Mexico State University. And I want to talk about some things I've learned from developers at 12 game studios. Specifically how it relates to our industry. At the Learning Games Lab, we're a nonprofit development shop located at a university, and we work for a variety of different clients. Jesse Schell and I are working together on a book. It turns out that both of us individually at 2 studios really developed a very similar process for creating educational tools. We're calling it the Transformational Game Network, the Transformational Learning Design Model, and it's worked perfectly for us as we're trying to articulate those steps. But what we wanted to find out, was it just us, or does everybody use a model like this? So I took 6 months on sabbatical, and I went and did site visits at 6 different studios. And then I followed up with formal interviews with 6 developers and additional studios. And 3 of those were professional field trips, where I took people from my studio with me, and we had time to spend at the studio just learning. And here's about 275 seconds of my expertise on the topic. So we went to a range of studios, for-profit, nonprofit. Everybody did educational or transformational. We even did one-person consultants. So I really saw a range of what 1 person to 150 person studio has in common and how they are different. 1, our field is immature. Educational games have been around for a long time. I've been working in it almost 30 years, but we're still immature in studio management and terminology and how we interpret Agile. We all use these terms with 100% confidence, but we all use them to mean different things. 2, we're afraid to share what we know. Everybody said to me, "Are you going to give my secret away?" And I said, no, just to the 600 closest friends at Connected Learning Summit, but nobody else. Because I'm going to tell you their secret. But every studio, I saw a lot of processes, how they did HR, how they did business, how they did retention, how they did marketing. And there was a lot of diversity in all of those processes that I saw in all of the studios, with the exception of design. Because by and large, the people who are good at designing things, you want to know their secret? Just do whatever you're already doing. I mean, probably it's going to be exactly like them, because we all use a very, very similar process from getting to the change we want to make to the game we want to build off of that. It might vary on the time we give it or the people involved or how long it takes, but by and large, it's the same process, which is awesome, because that means it can be taught, it can be learned, it can be refined, it can be shared, and that's what's going to move our industry forward. So we're going to give a talk tomorrow, Jesse and I, on our process. Other people here are sharing their processes. The other thing that's interesting is that secret process that's not so secret. It's not what made the studios amazing. And these studios are amazing. I only picked the best ones to go to, and they did great, great work. Now, let's just be honest, mistakes were made. We have all had a project we were a little embarrassed about, that we could have done better, that the client was crazy, that we ran out of money. That's when we learn the most. We shouldn't be embarrassed about that, because we are not each other's enemy. We in game studios are competitive. We look at other people's projects and we say, "Oh, I wish I could have made that," but we don't compete with each other. Our enemy is the idea that educational games shouldn't be made. That's our enemy. And the solution is for us as a group to mature our field, thank you, and mature our field and to help move it forward for all of us. That's the goal. And we do that by sharing information each other about what makes us good. So what then makes a studio valuable, effective, and successful? I will tell you. Do you want to know? Yes. It's one thing. So in the movie City Slickers, remember the city guy went to Curly, the seasoned cowboy, and said, "What is the secret of life?" And the cowboy said, "One thing." And the city slicker said, "What's the one thing?" And the cowboy said, "You got to figure that out for yourself." And for all of these studios that I went to, they all had at least one thing that was unique and amazing. Maybe it was their HR, maybe it was retaining people, maybe it was a data backend, maybe it was a long-standing relationship with the client that helped give fluidity to their, whatever. Everybody had this one thing that was amazing. And it doesn't take anything away from my studio to learn about the one thing other studios do well. So that's my challenge. Today, while you're here, immediately after, go learn another studio's one thing. Buy somebody a drink, whatever drink it is. It can be me, it can be somebody else, but find a friend. The reason I got these 275 seconds of knowledge is because I met people at studios who were gracious and kind and said, yeah, come and I'll talk to you and I'll share with you what I know. And we all need to do that, because when we all do that and share our information with each other, that's how we get better. We share a lot of the same information, and the things that make us unique and special are going to make our whole industry better, because a rising tide lifts all boats. Peace.